Oh gosh. Let's see. Are we even? Okay. Nope, don't want that. So that's interesting. I clicked live and it just took me straight to live. Guys, I got a disaster on my hands this morning. I don't really have any other way to put it. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I need to make a few more phone calls. Somebody said, yeah, give me, oh my gosh. Give me just a second here, guys. All right. So let's see. I'm going to tell you a story. And it goes a lot like, if I can get it to work. Story may not work at all. Just about how my day has gone. I've been on the phone all morning, and somebody was trying to confirm a time with me on when I would be arriving to pick something up. And I looked down and realized it was 10 o'clock. I said, ooh, that's a problem. Then I got all you guys yelling at me. So I'm leaving for work last night, do my thing. And let's see. I'm going to take this, put it here, bring this over here. And yeah. Found myself a deer. Oh, that's not good. Let's see. Do this again. Found myself a deer last night. I wouldn't do it. What makes me the maddest about this whole thing is I was literally, and I kid you not, I literally not even a half mile from my house. I mean, dude, I just got this thing back from getting fixed, and it's already smashed up again. Like, what are the freaking odds? So, I get to deal with that today, trying to find a car. The only thing they had for me, boy, if you remember the last time we dealt with this whole rental car thing, it was an absolute disaster. If you do remember, the Jeep Compass was the car of choice that they decided to give me, and boy, it did not suit. Now they don't even have those. All they've got is a full size truck that's going to cost me an extra $4 a day. I thought about springing and going with. They had another place had a Jeep Wrangler for another $8 a day, and I was like, you know what? Let's just live a little bit. Get the Jeep Wrangler, enjoy it. It's a good time of the year for it. We went through the whole Jeep thing a while back. Live a little bit, you know? So, trying to find a rental car. Nobody has anything. The phones are down at the collision repair center. So, I just, man, what a disaster. So this is what my night started as and what my morning is beginning as. So there's that in a nutshell. So I'm dealing with that. I don't know how long I'm going to be here because I'm still trying to get a rental car situation figured out. But I'll hang out with you in the meantime. I might have to make a couple phone calls and ditch on you a little bit. No, Jason, I wish it was a V. It's just a standard, actually just a base model. I actually opted for the base model instead of any of the other packages based on the engine. So the 3.6 liters in the CTSs are known to have timing chain issues, and the 3.0s are not. So I opted for the luxury model, which is the standard 3.0, and apparently it's really good at hitting things. Geo hit a deer. I don't know if you saw the pictures there or not. So that's kind of what I'm just dealing with. God, let me get caught up on the chat here. By the way, other than everybody telling me I'm late. Yeah. Seems like some live things are getting in the way. Chester, I am going to work on putting this on that deal you sent me. I don't know why I called you Chester. I know what your name is, Josh. So I'm going to work on getting that put on there. I mean, if it's going to take it right to Spotify anyway, that works out perfect. So I could do that because I know a lot of people use Spotify, so we can have the audio onto Spotify. Yes, I do make money off of YouTube. No, it's not very much. And the money I make off these podcasts is like hardly anything at all. So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt me to just source the audio somewhere so everybody can just download it and listen later. The live aspect I still really enjoy. And it will be kind of hard to, kind of follow along with the podcast if you don't have the live chat. So I'll have to work on either kind of not engaging as much with the live chat or making sure I'm talking with, I guess I'm referencing the message that I'm responding to. But that's definitely something I can look into because you're not the first person that's asked about that. So, yeah, I don't know how long I'll be here. I got a couple more phone calls I got to make. And let's see. This is like totally improv. What a mess. Jeez, what a mess. Just, yeah, life things are in the way. Boy, it's a disaster. Congratulations to Gio on winning the NSA AAA Senior Super World Series. Big shout out to him. Got a lot of the OGs together, too. I saw that. Old Ryan Claspeel. I haven't seen that dude at a ball field probably since he was at the Snowball here in Moberly years ago. Whenever that was. I know we all left the ball field, came back to my house and played a bunch of Gran Turismo. And hang on, sorry, I'm responding to some messages here, trying to get the ball rolling on some stuff. So let's see. Catching up with chat here. yeah. Life throws change ups a lot. Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, and yes, I have seen the new Cadillac Blackwing. Ooh-wee is right. Woof. Love it. And like, I'm halfway thinking, what's up, John? How you doing? I'm halfway thinking, like, dude, this car's got to be cursed. Like, I have drove for now almost 17 years, and I was even driving before then, not like on roads and stuff, but driving around on the farm, and like, the old man would let me run the truck up and down the road sometimes. We lived out in Podunk, and never ever once had an issue. I've never ditched a car, I've never wrecked a car, I've never hit an animal, And now twice in 6 months, I'm dealing with this. Like, the car's got to be cursed. So I've been like shopping and snooping around a little bit at maybe some different cars. And God, I don't even know what I want to do. I don't want to buy another car. I want my car. So that's where we're at. Is Podunk anywhere near Moberly? Podunk is Moberly, Geo. You got to know this by now. If you've got to drive further than 10 minutes and you don't hit another town, you're probably getting pretty close to the Podunk area. Like, I can drive. Let's see, the closest town to here would be Cairo, and it's about 5 minutes up the road. And then from there, it's at least 15, and that's the closest point of civilization again would be Cairo, and then another 15 minutes. You go south to Columbia, it's another half hour until you hit a town or any sort of civilization at all. I'm officially in rural Missouri. So, man, it's just the Hennessy Gladiator. What are you people doing to me? What? You were the last one telling me all these other crazy things about these Jeeps. This is God. So that's what I'm dealing with this morning. Is dealing with all that, trying to find a rental car. The phones are down at the collision repair center, and the only rental cars they had were dirty and disgusting from people renting them for 2 months. Yeah, Jason, I'm sure you are looking out for me in my best interest in a $150,000 Jeep. I mean, I'll be sure to recommend stuff like that to you next time you're looking for a bat. I'll recommend you one of these Anarchy Rebellions that people are selling for $1,500 used. Whatever that's about, I have no idea. But that is the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. But it's okay. The economy's doing great. The president and his party say that inflation is a good thing for the country right now. It's a sign that things are going well. Not getting into politics, but that's the only thing I'm going to say. And yeah, Gio, you heard it here first. People paying $1,500 for a used ASA bat. I guess ASA U-Trip don't matter. But a used Anarchy. That's just wild. Raffle pages have made bat prices just go absolutely out of control. And the fact that people are paying, $250, $300 for used bats. You can still go to headbanger.com, headbangersports.com. That's not even a plug. I know there's other places out there that sell bats, and I'm sure they still have 220s as well. I'm just using Headbanger as the example because it's what I know. I know what they have. They've still got Dudleys in stock, U-Trip Dudleys, 220 stamped. They've still got 220 stamped Mikens in stock. And for, way less of a price than $300 for a used bat. And I promise you, it's going to perform just as good or better as some of the other stuff that people are buying. It's just insane to me. It's absolutely wild. And it's frustrating, and it's that way with everything too. Like the used car market right now. The car market in general, used car market is absolutely insane. And like the car market in general. So a while back, I kind of predicted that gas prices were going to soar through the roof, and sure enough, it looks like it's going to happen. I debated trading my car in while prices were still good and getting something a little more fuel efficient just for preparing for that. Because my car honestly doesn't do the best on gas. Like I get about 24 on the highway. The CTS is a mid-size sedan. It's got a V6, so it's not going to be as fuel efficient. It's all-wheel drive, and it is heavy. So, about 24 on the highway is the best it can muster. And just looking to trade it in, I was looking at a couple of hybrid Hondas getting close to 45 miles a gallon, or even just staying with GM because I'm a GM guy, if you guys don't know. And getting like something like a Chevy Malibu. I would go, maybe down in size. It's hard to tell, but they were selling brand new Malibus for under 20,000 all day long. You could just about pick your color and a handful of options and get them just about anywhere. And now that 18 to 20,000 has turned into 25 to 26,000 for most of the almost the comparable car that I was looking at back then. Just the prices and everything is going up. It's not a good thing. My wife is really wanting to buy a car right now, and man, it's just not a good time to be in the car market at all. But life and its whatnots, right? That's what I'll call it. It's not a, what does Snack say? Something like life is getting in the way. No, it's just life and its whatnots. That's what we're going to call it. So that's where we're at with things. I do know that my man Brian Fisk had a question he wanted addressed in the last podcast. Let me see if I can find it. Brian, hopefully you're here. If not, thanks for catching up later. Okay, Brian wants to know, he says, I've got a topic for you to discuss for your chat. 1, he says, do you swing, or when you swing, do you grunt? And then there's 2 follow-ups as well. Did you hit the ball out, or did you shart yourself? I have caught myself from time to time grunting when I swing. It's not like a oop thing or like in the showboat. It's just putting every bit of ass I had into a car. Or it's like I can't read and talk. Putting every bit of ass I've got into a swing, and sometimes it just happens. I distinctly remember we were at NSA Super Worlds or whatever you want to call it last year, Worlds, Super Worlds, whatever they call their stuff. It was basically like U-Trip Nationals, and we needed runs. We needed runs to stay in the game. We had a home run left. It was towards the end of the game. And I guess it's one of those things like you take enough BP, you trust yourself to know what pitch you can hit and what you can do with it. And I saw the pitch come in. I've been harping on people for so long. Like Dustin Ray, if you're listening to this later, comment down below. or even if you're not, even if you're listening live, or even if you don't listen at all, I have been harping on him to hit strikes. He is, no question, the best bad ball hitter that I know. You can throw it at his shoestrings. You can throw it in the other batter's box. You can throw it over his head. You can throw it at his belly button. He's going to hit it out. He's got strong hands. He's got them fiber hands. He is good. He's a good bad ball hitter. He's a good hitter in general. And I've been harping on him for hitting strikes, but man, sometimes it's one of those deals where you just got to go down and get what you know you can get. This ball, I felt like I hit it probably just about off the top of my shoestrings, and grunting when I hit it because I knew what it was. I knew I had to hit it just right, and I knew I was going to have to put everything into it and hit a ball that maybe got 30 feet off the ground and went out of the park. And like that, I think that might be the last time that I actually grunted when I swung a bat, and it was just kind of a tied up swing, and I knew I was going to have to hit it hard. That's the last time I grunted. I did not shart, and I'm not sure I've ever heard of anybody doing such things. Now, I will say I did hit a home run one time because I had to go see a man about a horse, and I'm like standing here looking around like, man, guys, I gotta go. Like, it's never happens to me. Well, the guys, I gotta go. I'll be right back. They're like, no, you're on deck. We just came off the field, so the guy in front of me makes an out. I hit a solo. I get up there, hit a solo home run, and just ran off the field. It was time to go. There was no time to wait. I didn't even look and see if the ball went out. I just swung, hit it as hard as I could, and just ran off the field. So it's sometimes, again, life and its whatnots. I don't call it an unfortunate situation, but it's life and its whatnots. So there's that. And no, I did not eat Taco Bell before a tournament. We were playing League. Who knows what I ate before then? Let's see. I had one other question from my man BGF. See if I can get it pulled up here. Oh, yeah. Okay, he did have a few. So he's wanting to know about roster hopping limits on UTrip and GSL, and I think it's kind of a one leads to the other thing, roster hopping and then stacking rosters for state and worlds. For worlds, I guess is you know, you got to do what you got to do. You know, you may have guys that can't go. I had this conversation with somebody the other day, trying to discuss why after talking about going to Worlds all year, the decision was made to not go, and we kind of had a little bit more of an in-depth discussion on why that was. And you know, basically, you know, you've got your group of guys, and you're planning on going to Worlds all year long. You've got over half of your team committed to go, but you just don't have, I shouldn't say half, you've got 5 or 6 guys fully committed to go. They've been there all year, and your last 4 or 5 guys are either really new to the team or you're picking up guys. It'd be one thing to go play a state tournament in that situation, but to go down to a world tournament, which means you're spending either your own money or in this case it's sponsor money. You're spending sponsor money and sponsor time, your time, everybody else's time, to go down there with 6 of your regulars, a couple of new guys, and then some pickups. Like, you need to go into Worlds with your best foot forward. I'm not saying that the teams that have been added, or sorry, the players that have been added to the team might not be good players and they might not jive well with the team, but like, you need to be hitting on all strides. There's no time to, all right, well, he's new, I don't know where to put him in the order, or, you know, he's hitting the ball well today, I need to put him in the 3-hole. You need to know what your lineup is before you go down there. Like, you need to know everything. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no, all right, well, if he has a bad day at this position, I need to figure out what to do with that. Like, you need to know what to do, and you need to make sure that guy's not having a bad day at that position. There's a lot that goes into that decision, so I can see to an extent maybe wanting to pick up, I won't say roster hop, but I'll say pick up some guys, maybe some guys that are familiar with your group. To me, it's about chemistry. When you get to that point in the year, it's about chemistry. And if you don't have any, I'm not saying you can't win, but it's going to be hard to. I'll take a group of 10 mediocre players and go play a tournament before I'll take a stacked team of guys that either don't get along or they're all a bunch of hotheads or whatever else. Because I'm telling you, good vibes will get you so far. You got guys wanting to play for each other. The biggest thing is guys playing for each other. They're not playing for themselves. They're not out trying to prove a point. They're not doing anything other than, you know, playing for the team. You know, you might go out and pick up a guy, or, you know, if you've got a group of, you know, a bunch of cocky, really, really good players that may not have the best attitudes, I mean, out there playing for themselves. They want to hit a home run and stare and oop about it, and, you know, maybe start a little shit, or you know, get some people fired up on the other team and that kind of thing. And like, if that's what your team is about, that's fine. But if you've got 1 or 2 guys that are essentially just bad apples that just want to start problems and that kind of thing, and the rest of your team's like, who is this guy? Why did we bring him? That's a problem. You don't want to go to Worlds with a group like that. So I get a little bit of the idea behind maybe picking up players from, say, I just played C-State and another team played C-State, and you know, because there are situations where the two teams are they're basically just two groups of friends playing each other. Everybody's familiar with each other. Everybody's played with each other together at some point or another. I mean, you know, like it's show me games. Like, there was a lot of guys on there to the team that I've taken the field with, and I would feel comfortable taking the field with, and never skip a beat. I mean, it was basically 20 guys that have all are extremely familiar with each other and could probably mix and match that team however you mix and match those two groups into one team however you needed to, and go dominate somewhere else. And purely off of a chemistry vibe, not even from a standpoint of just a bunch of good ball players. Like I said, the group of, and that's not, I'm not saying anybody in the 2 teams that we played at Show Me Games were mediocre. There's a lot of great ball players on that field that day. But I'm telling you, The Good Vibes Gang. I thought about I thought about calling a team that one time. The GVG, the Good Vibes Gang. The Good Vibes Gang will get you so much further, especially when it comes to situations like that as well, because there's emotion behind it. You know, when you start to roll, you're at Worlds and you're starting to roll a little bit. Like you're down there with the guys and you're rolling. It's not just, you know, all right, we won a few games. When's the next game? No, like you want the next game. You want the next game to be right now. You want to keep playing. You don't want to quit playing until someone tells you to go home. When you've got a group like that, you go to Worlds. And if you don't, then don't go. If you can pick up a couple of guys from another team and go make a run at Worlds, go do that. Now, if we're talking teams, you know, you got a collection of, I kind of think what Chris is talking about here is you've got basically 2 or 3 teams, state tournament rolls around, those 2 or 3 teams combine into one to go play state so they know they can win. I don't necessarily agree with that because now there's, if you're talking combining 3 teams, then you've got a bunch of guys just out to place. I mean, you're talking, well, okay, you say each team has 12 guys, that's 12 times 3. Quick math is 36, right? Yeah. So you got 36 guys. Well, you push that down to even 12 guys. You've got 24 guys out to place. That's enough for 2 more teams. You know, so you're cutting down on the amount of teams. If you've got more than a handful of groups doing that, then that's another issue as well. If you've got, you know, multiple groups of these teams doing that, you're cutting down on teams. You're screwing guys that wanted to play or could have played. It's not a good situation. It's not a good situation to be in. And it's I don't agree with it. It happens, and there's nothing I can do about it, but I don't agree with it. Now, like I said, the World's situation is a whole nother deal. And as long as everybody like fits within the roster confines, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. And I do know that NSA, I believe, gives you 2 pickups per, I don't want to say per event, but per, you know, step up. Like you got state, then you got Worlds, you got Super Worlds, and I think there might be one more after that. But whatever it is, you are given I think if I remember correctly, you're given 2 pickups per tournament. Because I mean that stuff happens. Like you got stuff that might come up, or you know, guys that turns out they can't travel, or guys that could travel for this and not that, family stuff, life and its whatnots. So there is that. And Chris also brings up a point. I do believe you can only, I know in NSA you can only belong on 2 rosters for the year. So that's also another kicker as well. If you've been on more than one roster. U-Trip, I don't know. I don't know if there's a limitation. I'm sure there is. But I do know that NSA limits you to 2 roster moves per play. Like, as far as a player, like I can't go play with Grumpy Snacks one weekend and then go play with Geo the next. And then, you know, it turns out Sammy needs a guy next weekend. Well, I can't go play with Sammy because I've already been on 2 different teams for the year. Just to kind of keep you from bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. It's I don't know if U-Trip has anything like that, but there is things in place that do kind of prevent that from happening to an extent. Now, again, if we're building a super team to make a run at state and Worlds and everything else, if those guys stay together for the rest of the year, I guess you could say it's okay. I don't know. Still a weird vibe, I feel like, but you know, it is what it is. People are going to find a way around just about anything they can when it comes to slow pitch softball. Another topic he had is 1-piece versus 2-piece bats. And I feel like that's an interesting one. So I've mentioned this a couple of times before. I actually feel like it comes up more often than not. So listening to Don Cooper, who is now with Easton, was at one time very high up in the combat organization, talk about bat testing and mile per hour testing and performance between 1 and 2-piece bats. And, you know, he said that mile per hour wise and exit velocity wise, a 1-piece bat will always test higher because there is no loss of inertia. There's nothing getting soaked up. The 1-piece bat is more rigid. Now, I do find myself preferring 1-piece bats a lot of the times, even though I've got a bunch of 2-piece bats in my bag. I'm maybe somewhat of an anomaly to that because I'm a freaking cheapskate and I'm going to swing whatever's cheap. But I have found myself preferring a lot of 1-piece bats. So I really liked, I was, if that Mike and Revex I did that Throwback Thursday video on was a 27, I'd probably consider throwing that in the bag, but it's not, so I won't. But everything used to be one piece. We all, cut our teeth on one piece bats. Then the two pieces started coming out. You had stuff like the Worth Mutant. I'm not even sure Miken made a two piece bat. I think it was just Worth made two piece bats. And then I'm trying to think, when was the first? Then you had Easton. Easton had their two piece stuff. So you had like the SCN5, the SCN7, and things like that. And DeMarini always had the two piece bats. And I don't know. I've never felt a performance difference. I've never felt, all right, this bat hits the ball harder because it's two piece. Or I've never felt this bat hits ball harder because it's one piece. I think the difference in numbers scientifically, I'm not sure the naked eye would notice them, and I'm not sure that the human being is a consistent enough of a variable to take advantage of that. But I do like myself a good one-piece bat. The Sonic Plus, the Genesis. I really liked both of the Protons that I saw in review coming soon, by the way. The Adidas Melee, on topic of senior bats. I mean, there's all kinds of good one-piece stuff out there. I'm a Pure guy. I really like my Pures. I was just telling Brian the other day, I'd really like to find, like, an OG, like, Pure Sports Pure. It's like, I do know that there was certain changes between the bats that read Pure and the bats that read Pure Sports. There's a handful of changes that took place from one to the other. It's easy to identify them by that. And I've got a Pure in my garage that's one of the older ones. It's somehow it's hanging on. It does not look good. I bet it's probably only got maybe 20 swings left in it with 52s. But it's a 26.5, and I get myself into trouble swinging it sometimes. The Pures do swing a little bit heavy back then, so I was able to kind of get away with it a little bit. So if we're playing on some short fences, like I think the last time I swung that bat in a game was at a tournament last year. It was basically like a 270 fence in left field. It was really tall, but it was only 270. I mean, I can miss a ball 270 with a 26. My issue with the 26 is most of the time controlling trajectory. It's up and down I have trouble with. It's not so much like, 6-hole left center, right center kind of thing. It's just trajectory. I mean, it might go over the fence. It might be beat into the ground. That's what gets me into trouble with the lighter bats. But I told myself I got this bat out. It was kind of funny. I actually got it out because I got really annoyed. We were playing this team, and they were literally just mishitting home run after home run after home run after home run. I'm talking like routine fly balls. Our outfielders were like back against the fence, like coming down on the other side of the fence. It was frustrating to watch, and I finally just said the hell with it. I kept that bat in my bag, always just for like a rainy day kind of thing. And I got it out, and Brian kind of looks at me, and he goes, "What are you doing with that?" I said, "Dude," if everybody else can miss hit a ball at 275, I can do it too. I said, "I'll just try and hit it as high in the air, no matter what. I'll just hit it as high in the air as I can, and it'll go out." And sure enough, I had myself a pretty good weekend. But I don't stick to that very often because I lose a good 20 feet going from like a heavier or what I would prefer in specs of a bat. I can lose 20 feet sometimes if I go down an ounce and the weighting just doesn't fit me like something else would. My hands are slow. So I rely on the mass of the bat to get through the ball and give me the result I need. So going down in bat weight to try and approach it with the same swing just doesn't work for me. Yeah, you can, swing harder or whatever else, but like my swing isn't built around that. So if I'm going out there to suddenly try and swing a bat harder because I've got a lighter bat in my hands, it just doesn't work. My timing, my swing, and everything is built around swinging something slow and smooth, and that's what works best for me. I'm not saying that everybody needs to swing heavy bats, but if you're swinging a 26, I encourage you to go to a 27 and try it for like a month or two. I'm not talking 10 swings or 20. I was talking with someone local here. It's a very, very talented ball player, and was talking to them about you really consider going up in weight. Oh, well, I don't want to be behind the ball or whatever else, or I've tried and it doesn't feel right. Well, you're trying it doesn't feel right is have a round of BP, decided you didn't like it, and put it down. Give yourself time to adjust. And when I mean time, like I said, I don't mean 2 rounds of BP. Find yourself a 27. Find yourself a 28. Go, go up an ounce, go down an ounce, whatever you need. Sorry, don't go down. Go up an ounce from wherever you're at now, basically, and give yourself time to adjust and say, is this for me? Like I said, like give yourself a month or two, give yourself some games. It's something to do at the very end of the year when most of the sanction stuff and important stuff is over with, or you do it at the beginning of the year when you're still obviously you never show up to the ballpark to lose, but you're not in the heat of the summer playing for points, playing for state tournaments and things like that. And the more important tournaments kind of start rolling out as summer moves on, but you give yourself time to adjust and see if it's for you or not in an extended period of time before you just throw the towel in and say, whatever, I'm not doing it. So that's kind of my thought process on that. As far as one piece, two piece, I know I kind of got off track there. But the one piece, two piece thing, I prefer a one piece bat most of the time, and it's just feedback. I think it also takes me back to my combat days a little bit because I really like the Protons. So I don't know how everybody else feels about the Protons, the one that have swung them. But as far as the U-Trip Protons go, the barrels on those are super soft. And it felt pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I don't know necessarily that the performance was... It was still good, don't get me wrong. The performance was good. Like I could swing it and not feel at a disadvantage with it in a game, but it definitely wasn't like the best performing 240 that I've swung this year. But I could still pick that up and do what I needed to feel like a complete hitter in the batter's box. So just one more thing here. I got to get going. I know I hate... Excuse me. I hate to cut you guys short, but I got to figure out something. I still don't have a rental car. And I got to get to bed at some point. I did this last night on my way to work. I literally just left the house and I came home. I didn't want to screw up my sleep schedule. So I just came home, stayed up, worked out in the garage, did some video editing and that kind of thing, played some video games, just stuff to stay awake. Because I didn't want to screw my sleep schedule up and sleep all night, then be up all day, and then try to go to work tomorrow night or tonight. So I got to get something rolling with this rental car thing or something. I don't know. Maybe patch my car together so I can drive it. I can't really tell you. But just Gio's last thing here. Gio says this was part of a conversation we had this weekend. What are your thoughts on shaving and altering? I say it's douchebaggery, but teams on the West Coast and the Southwest act like this is normal. What are my thoughts on this? I mean, it's normal to them, but that doesn't make it right. I mean, you could call it douchebaggery, I guess, but dude, I'm probably a douchebag to someone too. As a matter of fact, I know I am. I've been told I am. But it's just from a moral standpoint, like, if anybody in here or anybody that's going to catch up later swing shave bats and you're down with that, that's your thing, man, I got nothing for you other than if I know you do, I'm probably not asking you to play on my team because I don't want those problems. I don't know. It annoys me. Technology is so good, guys. Technology in softball is ridiculous. 170-pound guys hitting balls 375 feet. And you're telling me that you need to alter something to make it better than that? Get better. Buy a tee, buy some softballs, and go fix your damn swing. Do I have the best swing in the world? Hell no. My swing is awful. But considering where I've started, I've came a long ways. I could have taken the easy way out. And everybody, and I'll tell you what, seriously, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to anybody you say it to that you haven't at some point in your softball career considered swinging an altered bat. Everybody's been there. And dude, I'm going to tell you something. I was young. I was still playing. I didn't even know what tournament ball was. Like, I used to think that, I'm sorry, not that I didn't know, but I thought in order to play on the weekends, you had to be like a major player. Like when somebody would say, "Oh yeah, so and so was at a tournament this weekend," I'm thinking like, "Whoa." Like, that guy's badass. He's a tournament player. You hear that at league, like tournament player. Whoa. I mean, I might be a tournament player on an 0-58 E team, but you're still a tournament player. But that's how new to softball I was. Somebody said something about a shaved bat, and I was like, "What is a shaved bat?" And then somebody's like, "Oh, you can hit the ball really far with it. It adds like 40 or 50 feet." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Like, because I mean, that's back when softball was about hitting every ball further than the last one. That was all we cared about. And somebody's like, "Oh yeah, you can go to this website and have your bat shaved, or you can buy one." And what do we know about me? I've been a cheap ass my entire life. And I got on there and I looked, and I was like, "It costs how much?" No, not doing that. Not a chance. I am not shaving my bat for that amount of money, and I'm not paying $400 for a shaved bat. That's just crazy. I don't care about home runs that much. And here I am today, still not swinging a shaved bat. Never even tried one. Never had one. I shouldn't say I've never had one in my hands, because I know for a fact I have. But I've never swung one in a game. I've never swung one in BP. People have offered them to me to swing them in BP, and I'm out. It's not for me. I don't even want to know what it's like. It's not that I'm going to get addicted to it or anything else. But it's just not me. It's not what I do. I've had very reputable bat doctors reach out to me wanting me to illustrate the differences. Yo, look, I'll pay for everything. I'll pay for both bats. I'll ship them to you. You can keep them when you're done with them. Even had one offer me some money as well. Is keeping all the equipment. Just to do a comparison between the two. To show the differences. Between stock, rolled, shaved, and then shaved and rolled. I mean, they were going to send me a whole care package. And I just said no. Like, I'm not going to do that, because that does a handful of things. That sheds light on an issue, a glaring issue, that it's like BGF said, shaving is normal everywhere. It's sad, but it's true. Yes, it is normal, but considering you live in California, normal here and normal there is like everybody there and everybody in the Southeast, Southwest, wherever, has got at least a couple in their bag. Here, not so much. I mean, you definitely got guys that pack them around, but not everybody at the ballpark has one or two in their bag. But I can't go do the testing. I thought about doing it just independently. I say independently, like no camera, just for my curiosity's sake. But what's the point of doing that? Like, that's time wasted I could have spent shooting a review or just taking swings with my own bats, working on getting better. And it also sheds light on, well, that bat is that much better. And part of the deal with Bat Doctor sending me the equipment was I have to give them the shout out and say, "You want this done, you go here." That's for sure going to just give a direct line of contact to a bigger, making things a bigger problem. I'm not about that. Not going to be. I'm not even going to say more power to you if you do. If you do, I'm sorry, bro, but you're a loser. Get better. Hit the gym. Take some BP. Do something other than cheat. Sorry. That's just all there is to it. Equipment is good enough. You don't need to alter it. But with all that being said, I'm going to get off here, burn the phones up some more, and See what I can find for a freaking rental car. Bringing those of you up to speed that are catching up late. Let's see. Can I do this? I've still got to pull up. The old Cadillac is down again. Splat. Hit a deer on the way to work last night. Not even a half mile, maybe even a quarter mile from my house. I just hit the road to go to work and just demolished a deer. So that's cool. So that's what I'm dealing with. That's why I was late. And I do got to go. So that's that. Got to get going. Thanks for stopping in, guys. Sorry I was late. Sorry it's kind of a harebrained, squirrely podcast. Thumbs down it if you want. I don't blame you. I would too. Swing hard in case you hit it. BP Hero. Catch you next time.